Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Xony, and today we're going to have some more stories from Reddit. But before we start, it would be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to my channel, like the video if you enjoy it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now, without further ado, let's go. Update. I know a lot of people have been asking for updates, so I figured I would make a post to update everyone who cares. So first, the custody issues. My soon-to-be ex-wife was granted 2 continuances, one in June and one in July, and the hearing was scheduled for last Monday. Luckily, Friday before the court hearing, she and I reached a temporary custody agreement that will last until the permanent one is determined. Towards the end of our divorce, essentially, my daughter is going to be spending a month with me and then a month with her. We'll be exchanging her at the airports. This is beneficial to me. Since she had delayed the court hearing twice, it would now be difficult to claim she's an unfit mother in the custody hearing. Since we had no custody agreement prior, her moving away is not in violation of any custodial arrangements. So in order to have my daughter move back to Kentucky, I would have to prove that I should be awarded primary custody. It wasn't impossible, but it was a bit of a long shot. Now when permanent custody is being determined, she and I already have 50-50 custody established, and as long as there are no incidents while she's staying with me, we'll be on equal footing for when the primary custodian is determined. I told her that if she wanted to stay in Florida until our daughter is older and going to school or her stepmother passes away, I would agree to it as long as she agreed to move back here afterwards. I can't think of any healthier compromise. If she doesn't agree to that, then a judge is going to have to determine it. Also, most importantly, I get to see my daughter. I'm so excited. Second point, I have a very good job now. It's a government job, and I work in the engineering department. I'm really happy there. The pay and benefits are all better than my previous job. I feel like they're very appreciative of me. They even had me training someone on my first date, and they are considering getting me an intern now. It's gone a long way to helping my mental well-being. Third point, my soon-to-be ex-wife attempted to hoover me while we agreed on custody. At this point, I've consistently gone to therapy for about 16 months, and I was prepared for it and handled myself very well. I don't want to get back with her. She justifies everything she's done to me by claiming that I was verbally abusive. I'm not a verbally abusive person. I would tell her that I remember things differently than she does, and that's okay. I definitely had people-pleasing tendencies during our relationship and an insecure attachment style, but I've made a lot of effort to overcome this. I'm not one to let my anger get the best of me. Now I'm having no problem establishing boundaries with people, and it's made my entire life much better. I'm no longer even interested in a reason why she did such terrible things to me. I used to try and make sense of things, but you can't make sense out of nonsense. For a while in June, I was very distraught because I would dwell on it. I would find myself thinking, no matter how long I live, I doubt anybody will ever do something so awful to me again. I voiced it to my therapist a couple of times, and she would always tell me that at least I got it out of the way when I was 33 years old, rather than having it happen 20 years from now. Initially, that offered very little comfort, but as I'm rebuilding my life basically from scratch, her observation has really become true. I feel like I can basically handle anything life throws at me because I've already gone through hell and came back not only alive, but a much better person than I used to be. While my soon-to-be ex-wife was talking to me over the phone that day, we reached an agreement. She asked me why I didn't try to reconcile. I told her reconciliation is a privilege given by the betrayed spouse, and that, to me, I would have considered reconciliation if I had seen her make efforts to reconcile. The first one being that she either had to come back up here or cut off ties with her affair partner. She did neither. She told me her and James were no longer seeing each other. I asked her when she stopped seeing him. She asked, "Does it matter?" I said it didn't matter. I don't want to reconcile, so I actually don't care. I'm not here to give her instructions on how to reconcile. At the same time, I also told her that if she had an affair with anybody else in the world, I may have been more willing to settle on reconciliation. I told her what you did to me. You either did it in a way to make this as painful as you possibly could for me, or you did it with complete disregard for how much it would hurt me. I actually can't decide which is more evil. I never use the term evil in any regular context, but I struggled coming up with any other word to describe it. Fourth point I want to touch on. My son is extremely happy that we're getting divorced. He and I have become even closer in the past few months. He asked me if I knew my soon-to-be ex-wife was crazy before I filed for divorce, and I didn't really know what to say. I'm so happy to be a positive influence in his life. Fifth point, my lawyer is awesome, but expensive. He's been doing this for about 30 years, and he told me that my case is the most bizarre one he's ever seen. I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but he cares and is straight with me. I couldn't ask for more. Aside from all that, I reached out to an old crush of mine that I hadn't talked to for about 15 years. She and I had feelings for each other back then, but I was with my son's mother at the time, and as horrible as she was to me, I could never bring myself to cheat on my son's mom and disrupt his life. I told her then, and she was very respectful of that boundary, and it's something I always appreciated about her. Truth be told, she helped me feel a bit better when I was really going through some awful shit. So I reached out to her with no expectations of anything, just to kind of dip my toes, get ready to talk to people more, and eventually start trying to date again. Funny enough, she's going through divorce too. Her ex was a narcissist as well. I asked her about her divorce and she told me, but she also never asked me about mine. She told me it was because she didn't want to pry, and if I wanted to talk about it, I was welcome to. I was extremely grateful for that because it's not something I wanted to talk about. I was dreading dating again in general because I have so much baggage, and I really would rather focus on what's important in my life. I literally had written down a checklist of the things I would look for in a partner going forward back in June, and she's been nothing but green flags. As a side note, her story has a shocking amount of similarities to mine, I've noticed. I have a very hard time allowing myself to be vulnerable after all the pain I've been through. I'm working on that. This woman is extremely nice and understanding with me, and it's made me want to be vulnerable. I've talked to her a bit about stuff, but I also told her I want to take things slow. And since she's got so much on her plate as well, if either of us ever thinks things are getting too serious, we should let each other know. I told her I would be fine with it. She agreed. It made me happy. We don't even talk every day. I'm content no matter how that relationship unfolds. I can say that she's fostered a positive impact on my life, and I've grown emotionally just from talking to her. After so much abuse and trauma, I'm slowly coming to the realization that relationships don't have to be as awful as I'm used to. You can have a strong relationship with someone for no reason other than you like the other person's company. You can build each other up and compliment each other while still being your own person. Anyway, that's about all I got. If you got through all this,